is ahead of what was anticipated, because the belief was it'll be post-March of next year. There could be a little bit of preponement on the same, thanks to the way inflation has behaved, and you've got pretty much those names which are moving up in the last couple of minutes. But let's move on and welcome in two very special guests. Sachendra Nath, Group CEO of Religare, and Martin Newson, CEO, Global Investment Banking of Religare, join me. Afternoon, gentlemen. Thanks for being here on NDTV Profits. Sachendra, first to you, congratulations. This is a big launch coming in, the new global iBanking business from Religare Enterprises. Talk about your ambitions on the same, the fact that you've decided to go ahead now. Is the market timing looking very lucrative with the deals as well picking up?
Thank you very much, Namrata. I don't think so that's the case. Most of the people never ask us the question why we acquired Hitchens out of Religare Capital Market and not under Religare Enterprises. The fact that we wanted to build a global iBanking franchise was because that's why the reason we acquired Hitchens under Religare Capital Market. We have been, after we acquired Hitchens, we got some geographical footprint. We have been trying to build the business model. We have been trying to find leadership team into that. And in last 6 months, we really felt that the opportunity has come right into the place, because most of the global players are shrinking, they are moving back into their home territories, and there is no one significant player which can represent the whole emerging market space. And then when we launched our search for a global CEO, and happened to be very fortunate to get Martin, who shared the similar objective of the business. And I think so with this new leadership coming into the business, we should be able to really take very big giant steps in building up this business.
Okay, Martin, on that, congratulations. Sachendra definitely has a vote of confidence in you. But let's just talk a little bit about how you see this as an exciting business opportunity for yourself as well as the global iBanking of Religare. How do you plan to expand it? And to your mind, what is the most attractive opportunities? What kind of sectors, dimensions of equity markets that you see within the EM landscape?
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, on a personal perspective, I'm extremely happy that I found a group that whose vision dovetails more or less 100% with my own with respect to building an emerging markets investment bank. And if you look at the growth expected for investment banking revenues in emerging markets compared to investment banking revenues in the, for lack of a better word, old world, that's really why I wanted to spend the next 10 years of my career and possibly longer in this part of the world. With respect to what we want to build up, we want to first solidify what we have already. So we want to make sure that we are exceptionally strong. We already are strong in the Indian market. We want to make sure we're stronger. And we want to make sure we have distribution capability in New York, in London, and in Hong Kong and Singapore. So we're going to be adding to the acquisitions the acquisition that we've made, and making sure that that distribution strength is strong in order to be able to make sure that we can help companies find capital for their growth in emerging markets. So that's kind of step one. Step two is to make sure that we go into what I call the safer parts of emerging markets. We don't just want to bet the whole, everything on one color. We want to make sure we have a nice portfolio of countries that we're represented in from a product perspective. So obviously India, and we want to move out of India. We want to make sure we have a product capability in Hong Kong. And then we want to start looking at some of these so that from there we can initially deal with China. And then from there we want to look at some of the more maybe higher risk markets. I'm thinking, and we haven't decided this 100% yet, we're thinking like Malaysia, Vietnam, those kind of areas.
So, Jinder, you talk about your focus going to be, in the emerging markets investment banking and mid-cap focused at that. Are you sensing that's how the deal climate is going to change. It's not going to be about mega acquisitions and mega mergers, the likes of what we saw from the house of Tatas on 2 counts, and even what was being pursued in terms of the Bharti MTN, which collapsed, but more smaller, niche, mid-cap, value-oriented deals. Is that something you see as a dramatic shift in the landscape?
No, Namita, I believe that in every market there will be 1 or 2 few deals which would always be talked about. Most of the people's radar would be always focused on those deals. But underneath that, there is a very, very vibrant entrepreneurial growth market which exists and which keep doing cross-border M&As. If you look at between India and countries like Indonesia, South Africa, in terms of natural resources, mining, there are smaller and slightly bigger companies which are going into multi-market, these geographies. So our focus is not mid-market as such, our focus is more geographical. We would select some few sectors in which we will hardcore specialize, but our objective is to bring the opportunities in these markets come together and showcase it to the world which has got a lot of capital. So we would not like to be classified as just a mid-market investment bank. We would deal with everything which come into that place. But that's right. I think so. The number of deals which would happen into the mid-market segment would be far more higher, probably not so visible than what you see at deals like Bharti and MTNs.
Okay, more opportunistic in that sense. It's not going to be just confined to a certain geography or a certain deal size. Martin, to go to the equity markets question, and a linkage with iBanking is always there. We saw how deals dried up last year, and now I believe yesterday, in fact, there were 2 IPOs in the US market raising $10 billion, which is double of what was raised in the entire quarter last gone by. Are you seeing a revival of interest in iBanking thanks to equity markets pick up? And then what is your projection on how equity markets pan out from here on?
I definitely think that with markets higher, that creates an environment in which more easily and more readily deals can be done. You can't do deals when for lack of a better word, animal spirits do not prevail. So certainly the jump in equity markets that you've seen, the quite dramatic rise, the answer to your question is yes. And also I think that some fund managers, quite a few, have missed the rally and are looking to put money to work. And therefore, these big deals that are coming out of the pipeline are helping these guys put money to work in that respect. With respect to equity markets going forward, I probably wouldn't be sitting here if I exactly knew the answer to that question. But I guess my belief is we have now had this huge rally. The rally that we've seen has been the relief rally that the world is not ending. And from here, I think it's going to be much more moderate, but I'm not that pessimistic going forward. I mean, as long as earnings continue to grow, I think that markets can continue to grow.
All right, so fundamentals will have to catch up with the liquidity situation, but other than that, things looking much more stable. No chance of a massive collapse. The pace of rise, though, might be a little slower. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for joining me, Martin Newson as well as Sachendra Nath. Good luck going forward with that global iBanking business. Wish you the very best on your plans. We will continue to track markets in just a bit, but a quick mention of Mahindra Satyam before I take that break. The stock is off 3%, and the management had indicated to us that they are looking at various options of selling the Satyam stake. Remember, the curfew period expires 3 weeks into October, after which they have a free call. If it does sell, they will gain 250 crores in profits.